Hi guys, Dragoneither here today doing a interview with the YCS Sydney 2016 runner-up third place, Adam Morris. So Adam, how did you go today?
I won every game except for 3.
You know what, I was judging for this event and I watched your second last game, your game in top 4, and you should have won that.
Yeah.
It was 3 rounds. If it was 5 rounds, you would have won that, and you did absolutely excellently with the deck. You showed marvelous skill. I think you did so good. You would have easily won that. You had your opponent top deck and you had Infinity out. But anyway, what were you running today?
Kozmo Artifact.
Kozmo Artifacts.
Yes. Or, more or less, it was Artifact with a side of Cosmos. The Artifacts put in so much work.
So it was it's Artifact Cosmos now?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, mate. So, what have we got for this deck list today?
Okay, you have the 3 Dark Destroyer. You can either pop your opponent's cards or you can pop itself and it gives you any Cosmo from the deck. Run 3. 2 Forerunner. Bleh.
So Forerunner, I had a short interview with you once you came 3rd. What did you think of Forerunner?
It was terrible.
Terrible?
It never came in handy whatsoever.
Really?
I would cut it to 1, probably none.
Yeah, I think I agree. Like, I've played it enough to be like, probably 1's all you really need.
Yeah. 3 Slip Rider. Pop your own back row. Their scales. It's great.
Pop your Cosmo Town or,
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
1 Good Witch. It helps get over Infinity because you can pay it to flip it face down, then you have a ship in hand and they negate it. You banish it, summon a ship from hand, and then they have nothing else to negate.
Yeah, you change the effect and they just, they get wrecked.
2 Wicked Witch. I didn't want to run 2, wanted to run 3, but didn't have the room whatsoever. So 3 Farm Girl. She's glorious. Top decked it a lot today.
Now, some people, there's a different variant, which is the pure variant, where they run 1 Farm Girl. In this Artifact build, why do you prefer the 3 Farm Girls over to perhaps 1 or 2?
When I tested with only 2, I didn't like it. I don't know if it was the fact that there was only 2 or the fact that I just drew terrible every time. So I just chucked in the 3rd because it's Farm Girl. If you top deck it, you pretty much win.
It's still pretty good.
Yeah.
And I guess, in a way, like, the Artifacts don't actually stop your opponent, so you kind of need the Farm Girl Dark Destroyer combo just to go for that, like, OTK.
And it opens up OTKs. If your Farm Girl's already banished, you can Dark Destroyer, pop itself, add a Farm Girl, attack again.
Yeah, it makes ridiculous plays.
1 Strawman. You can't really run 2. 1 of.
Can you run 0?
No. He's great. He's MVP late game. 2 Tin Can. I would bump this to 3. I would cut a Forerunner and instantly bump this to 3.
Now, it was the funniest thing with Tin Can. A lot of people didn't know what to do. And everyone who's in top 32 ran 2 or 3 Tin Cans.
Yes.
And the Sword Trooper variant ran 3, and almost everyone else with the Artifacts ran 2. Would you call this one of the MVPs of the deck?
Yes. Easily. It searches you spells, traps, all the monsters, whatever you need, really, and it also helps to bait out notices or strikes, as they call it in the TCG, and I'd run 3 of it instantly if I could. Yeah,
like, I saw a lot of things people do today. Like, they do Tin Can, and then they search out a Dark Destroyer, and they'll chain Dark Destroyer back into Tin Can. I guess you wouldn't do it so much in this, but especially when you have a first turn as well, Tin Can is just like, oh, I can actually do something first turn, whereas something like a Farm Girl or Wicked Witch, you're kind of sitting waiting for your opponent to do something. Yeah,
and Tin Can, if you have an artifact, you can set the artifact and choose one of these 2, and then next turn you can pop that artifact and gain the effect. If they choose one of these 2. If they choose another one, you just bang out.
Which is great. Like, we'll get into the artifacts in a little bit, but this next tech I thought was amazing.
Ghost Ogre.
2 Ghost, not 1, 2 Ghost Ogres.
Yes.
Why 2?
I didn't have 3. And to be honest, I probably wouldn't run 3 because I only want to draw it if I'm going second. Because if they activate Monkey Board and you Ghost Ogre the Monkey Board, nearly every Pepe player I versed after I Ghost Ogre the monkey board, they didn't have anything else to do. They just set one past turn.
Because they really require that search off like the monkey board or
yes, to get going.
Yeah, like even in my testing, it's not just what Ghost Ogre does. It's also the fact that you can e-tally it. And did you ever play Scarlight today or?
Yes, I did. I Scarlighted someone for 6. And
6?
Yes.
Holy
6,
shit.
And that was 3k and it just killed him.
How did you get 6?
I Sanctumed for Scythe, he Pendulumed for 5 and ended because he didn't have anything else.
Yeah.
And then I just drew into Ghost Ogre, summoned it, synchroed with the Scythe, and I had a Slip Rider and I just nuked for 6.
Wow, that's huge, man.
Yep. And Artifact Engine, 2 Scythe, Moral Tech, Big Attack. Big Attack is in here to stop it if you draw 1 or more than 1. Did think about cutting this, but clogging with these is really annoying, and with Ignition you can just set them directly from deck, so it's easy to get 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So,
what do you think about running 3 Scythe? Like, why is it 2, not 3 or 1, or like the other ones are?
there was issues with space, and it was... I didn't want to draw Scythe. I didn't want to clog with Scythe.
Fair enough.
And also, I didn't really pick up 3 before the event, so I didn't test it. But that was just in thin theory, I didn't want to draw that.
Alright, so on your spells, we'll take the monsters off for now.
Yeah.
If that's okay.
Yeah.
MVP out of monsters, who is it?
It's a hard choice between Scythe, that, and that. These guys were all 3.
And the obvious one, Dark Destroyer.
They're all great.
So, yeah. Great. This card was $10 at the start of the event.
Yeah.
It's 25 at the end of the event. I love it. Alright, spells.
Twin Twister, Ignition.
Why
those are the only spell and trap destructions I made.
Why not 3 Ignitions?
Because I was talking to my great friend before the event about what I should do, and...
Is that me?
That was that, Chris. I actually talked to a lot of people to try and get their opinions on it, and it ended up being that popping 2, my own Kozmo Town or a set Scythe, is better than having the 3rd Ignition mained, and I side.
I actually really agreed with that when I saw your deck. I was like, people that weren't manning Twin Twister were doing it wrong. Yeah. Like, Twin Twister was game deciding in so many games that I watched. Like, if it wasn't Wavering Eyes, it was Twin Twister that won people games.
And also, getting rid of your opponent's strikes. If you get striked while you're running Cosmos, if you don't have a Sanctum to back up your play, you pretty much just conk out from there. Yeah. And also, not the 3rd Ignition, because you need to have an artifact in deck to activate this. Yeah. And if you don't have an artifact, well,
you know they're on 4, which is...
Yeah, not many at all. 3 Telly, go into Ghost Ogre, or Farm Girl, or... what's his name? Strawman.
Or Tin Can.
Or Tin Can, yes. And during the end phase, you can activate the effect to Search, and then on separate chain, activate the effect to Banish.
The Banish before it gets banished, which is mad. Yes. It makes it even better.
I didn't know that going into the event.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't. I thought that it immediately got banished in the phase.
No, it doesn't.
Then I saw someone do it, and I was like,
this makes it so much better.
Yeah, so definitely 3 Tin Can if I could, and Kozmo Town. Really self-explanatory.
And
cards.
That's all your spell lineup. So no reasoning.
No reasoning. No.
Is there any reasoning behind that?
Pun. You should be
punished.
You
fucking love that, don't you?
That was so bad.
I was originally running the hand trap heavy version, but I talked to a lot of people, and we just ended up. I thought that the artifact engine was a lot more better, and also, if I did activate reasoning, I didn't want to hit one of these off.
Yeah, no.
It would have been just
devastating. It would have been shit. Yeah. No. Another thing I saw was I still saw people running terraforming. No terraforming in this. Did you find you needed it at all?
No, I didn't need it at all. No.
You managed to get the damage off and search Kozmo Town, or have it whenever you need it.
Kozmo Town's good, but with what you have in the deck, you don't need terraforming. And also, I had no room. I had no room whatsoever.
And I guess, yeah, your deck relies more off being able to Scythe. Like, you let your pendulum summon, then you go Scythe, they can't do anything, and next turn, you just do fucking shit ton of damage.
Yes.
Like, yeah. Alright, traps. Traps are interesting.
Cosmojo.
What did you think of this card? Let's be honest. What did you think of this?
It was great. What I would do is have a Dark Destroyer or a Forerunner on board, and there'd be their turn. I would Cosmojo target, and this doesn't target the opponent's card on activation. No. So if they get rid of something on their side of the field, I still get to banish something during when it resolves.
Banish, yeah.
And you can just banish one of their scales, then the monster dies, then you can just go into a Slip Rider and pop the other one. So it's basically 2 scales gone for the price of 1, and 1's even banished. So.
Oh yeah, it's mad. I also like how you can attack with like the big ship, and then Cosmojo it down, banish something else, and then go on like Farm Girl and attack with Farm Girl, yes. Search, go back up into the big ship, and go back down again. That's fucking mad.
I would consider bumping this to 3. It's nearly on par with Ritual Beast Steeds.
Really? Wow.
What Ritual Beast Steeds was when the deck was good. I love it.
What was the best thing it was? Sorry. What was it best against? What deck was it best against?
Pepe. Easily Pepe, because I would just banish the Luster Pendulum, and they couldn't Synchro Summon. They couldn't bring out Ignista, and they couldn't get over Dark Destroyer.
It's good doing that. What about the mirror match?
I only versed 1 mirror match today, and I lost. The artifact variant doesn't do well against full power Cosmos in the mirror match.
That's fair enough.
Because Scythe doesn't really affect it at all.
I found personally that Cosmojo is actually the best thing in the mirror match, because if they try to tag up to a big ship or something, you just banish it.
I actually didn't draw this in the mirror.
Wow, that's unfortunate.
It is very unfortunate.
Oh well.
That's that. And the traps, 3 Notice and 3
strikes. Yeah.
3 strikes, 3 Sanctum.
How did Strike go today? Because this card was in like almost every deck. 2 or 3
games today. I opened up 2 of it, and it was stopping a Pendulum Summon for 3 or 4 is ridiculously good against Pepe, because then they have nothing to go off because they go to the graveyard.
Yeah.
And
also, you got no warnings, or like, did you opt to choose 3 strikes over 2 strikes and a warning, or?
I actually forgot about warning. I'm gonna be honest.
People were selling play sets. We bought
play
sets.
I wanted to place it, and I got to place it.
That's fair enough. Would you consider 2 strikes and a warning, or does 3 strikes just do the job perfectly anyway?
I would actually consider 2 strikes and warning, because this doesn't stop normal summons, so I can just normal summon.
Scout Crobat Joker, yeah.
Yeah, just.
I mean, you can get the effect, but.
Yeah.
But then it goes to the extra deck, whereas if you warning it goes to the grave.
Yeah, it goes to the grave. And Sanctum. I had a hand where I opened up 2 Sanctum, 2 Ignition, and a Molotech, and I set 5 and passed, and he Twin Twisted me, hitting Ignition and Sanctum. And I just laughed, Chain Sanctum, and won from there. It was against
that's fucking mad.
Player.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. That's so good doing that.
So that's why it's more or less artifacts for the side of Cosmos. Because some games, you would look at the board, and all you would see is artifact cards. And Pleiades. I'd make Pleiades a fair bit.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. Great plays with Pleiades.
Yes.
One thing I'd like to ask is, now that that's your main board done, where are the Call of the Haunteds? Everyone is hyping Call of the Haunteds.
I didn't think to run Call of the Haunted, to be honest.
You had stretch for room.
Yeah. If I had the stretch, I would run
in testing, we did... When we did think about it, or from our point at least, from the other boys that we were talking to, as good as it was, Twin Twister was huge in most decks.
Yeah.
Being able to resolve a Call of the Haunted was always going to be a very rare chance.
Yes.
Instead, what we wanted to do was try and go for an early game push, rather than force ourselves to a mid or a late game where we're fighting.
Yeah.
Cosmo doesn't do too well in a late game versus Pepe.
Yeah.
But it can, like you said, with the notices and the scythes, you only need 1 turn to potentially make a really good OTK.
Yeah.
Or put them in a position where they're fighting, big ships.
And Infinity. Yeah.
So it was more of a. We pictured Twin Twisters being a lot more popular than they were.
Yeah, I was really surprised
the decks we saw, a lot of people weren't running it. I think it probably was a discard cost.
Yeah.
The whole you know, discard.
I think people are really undervalued Twin Twister today, because I did a lot of testing against like these decks, and I was running anti-spell fragrance main, and I was running that long time before even Jeff Jones put out his video or his profile or whatever he did, because I knew that'd be really good. Because my opinion of Cosmos is it's not strong for what it is; it's strong for what it's not weak to.
Yeah.
Which is like Scythes and anti-spell fragrance. And I found that now that Twin Twister came out, all that happened is I'd flip over an anti-spell and they'd just Twin Twister it and my other set card, and I'd have nothing left. But with this, you obviously don't have that weakness. I mean, I spoke to the other guys that were running the Sword Trooper variants, and they said that they didn't really even face Twin Twisters most of the day.
Yeah.
So I guess you would have seen a lot more, and this obviously worked a lot better for you.
It did. I actually didn't get Twin Twisters as much as I thought I would. I don't know if because they were scared of hitting an artifact or what, but yeah, I rarely got Twin Twisted. But when I did, they hit an artifact.
Yeah. All right, extra deck.
Extra deck.
Would there be anything you'd change in this extra deck, or?
Yes, there'd be a lot I would change.
All right, let's go through what you've got first.
Check out attack. These would go in the side because I made them once in the mirror match and I lost it anyway. It was. I don't like the mirror.
I'd rather have Cosmojos in the mirror, to be honest.
Yes,
because you just
banish the big ships.
Yeah, banish the big ships. Like they tag up, and you just get rid of the ships entirely.
Yes. Aside from Lord Omega, I made this once today. I didn't get to use this effect, unfortunately.
Quickly.
Scarlight, I Scarlighted someone for 6. I love this card.
Again, with me in testing, I was running one Ghost Ogre, and this card is extremely fucking relevant in Cosmos. This card is absolutely fucking insane in this deck.
Especially if you scythe them, and then they have no choice but to pendulum summon as many as they can and just hope they don't die.
Yeah.
And then if you make Scarlight, it's just funny.
Yeah, oh, that card is so fucking good.
And it pops your own ships as well.
Yeah.
So you can get them
the
into
effects
Farm
off.
Girls or Good Witches or whatever you want, really.
Oh, if you got Sword Troopers, I guess they can go to the grave and you can use them later.
Yeah, if you choose to run Sword Trooper. Black Rose didn't make it. Had the opportunity today too, but I didn't want to get rid of my own cards.
Fair enough.
Castell didn't make it. Dweller didn't make it. Cowboyed someone for game today. Ulti Cowboy.
Nice.
Picked it up this morning.
Nice.
Nova and Infinity.
Again, I'd like to point out your top 4 match where you would have won that. But it was 3 rounds because of elimination, not 5.
Yep.
You were on 2-1 at the end, and your opponent was on 4-2.
Yep.
You had them top decking because you had Infinity out. You made a massively, beautifully, awesomely well played out play with your the ships and going into Infinity. What are your opinions on this in here?
You have to know when to use it. If you use it premature, it's completely useless. You have to use it on the right card, but don't wait too long. Yeah. When your opponent activates a card, you have to think, what is that card going to give them?
Yeah.
And you just have to make sure you use it on the right card, because if you use it on the wrong card, well...
You know what the funniest thing I would think about Infinity is? Infinity is on the YCS Sydney map. It actually, I would have to say that this was the card to represent what YCS Sydney was.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Every single game, I have to say Pepe takes no skill personally from what I was watching, because every single person and their dog was just going, turn 1 I make Raffle Seer, I can't even say that.
Raffle Seer Infinity, and if they had it, a Giant Hand.
And set like a strike. That was every single fucking first turn. That was every single Pepe game was just Raffle Seer, Rafflesia, Cyber Dragon Infinity, and like set Wavering Eyes. Those 3 cards were this whole tournament if you were running Pepe.
Yes, if you're running Pepe, it's glorious. It's a good card.
Alright, next up.
Pleiades, it's great you can overlay 2 artifacts to make this, because the artifacts are all light. It's just really good when they activate Luster. You can either bounce their thing, or if they have a plush fire, bounce the plush fire, and it just really irritates them.
Yeah.
Durandal,
Did you make that?
I did, and he activated a monster effect, and I actually forced him to pop my scythe
Lol.
with its effect. So that was
That's
pretty
good.
funny.
Nice job.
That didn't make it
Nice.
once. Didn't make it once. Didn't make it once.
Is there anything you'd like change in this? Like, what would you change for what?
That can go. That can go.
I reckon you'd run a clear wing instead of that.
That might say, yeah, probably chuck in a clear wing and
What I was suggesting earlier was, like, if you take these out, you run like Volcasaurus Gaia Charger, because it just gives you that ability to like go for games.
side deck that and run Gaia Charger and Volcasaurus. And
Yeah.
these two would be clear wing and another generically good rank 4.
Fair enough.
Too sure
That's
what
good.
it would be.
Or like an 8, maybe Synchro 8.
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to go into 8s today.
Yeah, I guess that'd come up the most. Or,
Yeah, you'd
or
be surprised.
actually, or even like a rank 3, like a Giga Brilliant would be good. Like,
Giga Brilliant's good in the mirror, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd consider running a Giga Brilliant.
Yeah. All right. Sideboard.
Sideboard, 2 Cyber Dragon, this is all for the mirror. And
Okay.
even with all that, I still lost the mirror, unfortunately.
Would you like change things? Maybe the third Kozmo or
Third Cosmojo, definitely. I would probably minus one of them for the third.
Core over Cyber Dragon?
Yes, because this is normal summonable without tributing.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, I'd do that. And the third Ignition, it's really good against Pepe and any back row heavy decks. 2 Twin Twister. I only ended up ever sighting in one of these because I couldn't find the room for the second.
Makes sense.
So, I'd actually probably minus that for the second Cosmojo instead. And 3 of that, I only ever sighted that in against BA, and it won me the game. because
There were
I
a few
couldn't-
BAs in top tables today as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised. Can't target ships.
And that.
Parfum Anti-Damagi.
Yep, that put in so much work against Pepe. I would go first and open up Anti-Spell, Sanctum, Strike, Good Witch, and a Cosmo Town, and I'd just be very happy with what I got.
You'd sit and just be like, please make a play. Do whatever you like.
Actually, to win the Minerva, I opened up 2 of these, and I had him with 1 locked for a couple of turns, and then he finally drew Twin Twister. He ended up twin twistering it, and I just activated another one, and he got really upset.
Oh.
Yeah, I felt bad.
Yeah. How were your matchups today?
I versed 1 BA, 1 Atlantean, 1 Cosmos, and the rest were Pepe. I had really good matchups for the entire day.
Yeah, because your deck's designed basically to...
Yes.
How do we put it? Fuck Pepe in the ass?
Pepe in there.
Yes, just...
Go in dry.
Yeah, pretty much. And...
So what was top 32? Do you know top 32 and top 16 or top 8 or...
I versed 1 BA, the rest of Pepe.
All Pepe?
Yes, all Pepes.
Did they all make Rafflesia Infinity like every game?
If they attempted to, if they couldn't, they just didn't do anything because they couldn't because of Scythe or anti-spells.
Difficult .deck. Player skill .deck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how was your top 8 matchup? Do you remember it or your top 4?
Top 4, I ended up losing in time because the rounds are only 3 instead of 5.
Yeah,
So it's
after
a
time.
lot shorter, and
Your opponent was stalling like fuck.
yes, he was. He had nothing on board. I had Infinity, Pallades, and a Strikes.
If you had 2 more turns, or 1 more... Actually, you had 1 more turn, so the game had 2 more turns.
Yeah.
You would have won.
I think I would have actually come first if that didn't happen, yes.
Yeah,
because
you have-
the last guy was Pepe as well.
I watched the winner of the event, and he literally... All he did was make Rafflesia,
Yeah.
and Infinity, and
That's all
set
they
Wavering
do.
Eyes. That's all they do. That's all the
Yeah.
deck does right now. Yeah, otherwise... And the 3rd place match, how was that?
Third place, I versed another Pepe. Andy Spell locked him out, and he lost from there because he didn't have any outs. He didn't side in any back row hate, and he just lost from there. Yeah.
So you'd say general overview was Scythe kind of... The idea was that Scythe stalled, so Pepe couldn't do anything, and then you just went for the OTK.
Yes, Scythe stalled, and then I would try to bring out Ghost Ogre and go for Scarlight, nuke their board. They'd take a bunch of damage and then attack with what it
And summon a bunch of monsters in one turn.
Yeah, because the ship that I would destroy would normally be a Slip Rider, and that would just give me a Farm Girl, swing with Farm Girl, Dark Destroyer, go from there.
Good job, man. You did excellent today. I'm very proud of you. Good job. Have you got anyone you'd like to say thanks to?
Colin and Gavin, I talked with them before the event, and they actually convinced me to run the artifact build instead of pure Kozmo, which I'm really glad that I did.
Especially with all the Pepes.
Yes, that helped out immensely. Shout out to Eric Bing and his team for getting me the notices and the Infinity. Strikes, sorry.
Everyone calls it's like when Midrash came out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not one. Shout out to Chris, because he's Chris. He helped me sell the Minerva I got. And shout out to the guy behind the camera for filming this.
Cheers, bruh.
Yes.
And also the bloody anti-spells.
And one last thing. Just so you guys know, he's from Gladstone. He actually doesn't have a locals.
He doesn't have a fucking locals, and he knows how to play a deck with skill and not the non-skill deck, which is Pepe.
Yeah.
And he comes fucking third at YCS Sydney.
First major event, and he comes, first.
Yeah.
Fucking excellent. I know some of these players that were in the top, like, 8, top 16, and they are, like, at every fucking event there is ever. Like, every single event. And this is what, your first major event?
Yes.
Well fucking done, man.
Thank you.
Good job. Alright.
848 people.
855.
855.
Competitors.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Well, that's how many decks I think they said was official before.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Alright. Excellent job.
Thank you.
This has been Dragoneither interviewing Adam Morris and his Artifact Kozmo deck. Not Kozmo Artifact, Artifact Kozmo deck.
Yeah.
Hope you all enjoy this. And yeah. Tin Can hype. But I reckon this card as well will probably get limited because it stops the whole mechanic. But it is a really good card.
It is. It's great. Love it.
Alright. Shout-outs. Any shout-outs?
What? Colin.
Shout out. Colin. Who the fuck's that?
I don't know.
Okay, so
You're going to have to cut that out.